Lady Bearcat football in association with Select Talent, and I gotta hate my voice. Let me make sure that you get your voices coming through. Today is we're gonna kind of uh, go through the preseason stuffs, kind of give some idea, some thoughts. Oops, I went to the wrong thing. Um, so. Um, about the season coming up, Gator.
It's definitely going to be a lot different than what it was last season. Just because there's going to be a lot less user games. So the conference games and those wins are going to be a lot more important this year for people versus they were last year. You might be able to get away with losing a couple non-conference to certain users, but the conference games are going to bear a little more weight for people this upcoming season. I think the playoffs is going to be more of a challenge for a lot of people, since some people are not going to be playing as many games as some of the others. The ones who are playing more games are probably more than likely going to, say they could possibly struggle because they're getting more user game versus like people who aren't. With the play cooldown and everything else, that's going to change a lot of gameplay around for a lot of people. So that's going to be kind of a challenge for people.
Yeah, I think one huge difference this year is going to be last year. We'd have somebody who would be in for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then they'd drop out, and we had a lot of dropouts. Where I think this season we're likely to have basically no turnover, and then just additions here and there as we go through. So that I think that'll be will bear out to be a totally different season for everybody. So the question is for you is who's the top team?
I'm partial because, obviously I'm Florida, so I want to kind of I want to say me, but, in reality, the way I'm going to kind of do my ratings and stuff is as of right now, based off of the way everybody played last year, so I'll do my top 10. So for instance, for the start of it, I'll go ahead and say Tennessee for me is number one, just because obviously he won the national championship. He shouldn't have. I kind of let that game get away from me towards the end, and didn't do some things I needed to do to win it. But it is what it is. We got to move on. We got to come back, play good again this year. So Tennessee's going to go number one for me, and then obviously I'll put myself at number two. Reason being is because I took that game to overtime. Like I said, I should have won it. I don't think at the end of the year last year there was anybody playing this game any better than I was, considering the fact I rolled off 3 straight wins in the playoffs, and I started out with the number 10 or went over the number 7, then got a win over the number 2, then the number 3, and like I said, we should have been the number 1 team in the league last year. So I have to say I would definitely be the number 2 user for sure. For number 3, if I have to look at it and everything else, I kind of will go with. This one might surprise some people, but I'm going to go Utah. Utah's number 3 for me. Of all the playoff games, including even though I lost to Tennessee, I think Utah was my toughest game that I had to play on my road to the national championship. So Utah for me is going to be number 3. Number 4, I probably will have to go. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm just going to go Georgia just because based off the team that Georgia has, not
Oof.
necessarily the same say the user, but Georgia's number 4 just based on team talent alone. I think that he's just got an extremely good roster in place that he can compete. Number 5, I'd have to go with Notre Dame. He made the playoffs, got
Yeah.
kind of got left in. So he's number 5 for me, and then at 6, this is going to be a little bit more of a bigger surprise, just because he didn't make the playoffs, even though he should. But I'm gonna have to put Bam at 6. He kind of joined in later in the season on Bama, got them into a position to make the playoffs, and unfortunately,
Oof.
one
Yeah.
little bad little instance right there kind of kicked him out. So for me, he's number 6. I just think that I probably ranked him higher if he'd have made playoffs. Which where kind of what happened and stuff though. But it'll definitely be a good year to see because he's got Jalen Brown back. So he's number 6 for me. Then I'd have to go for then they switched to Texas and Texas A&M. But then you've
Ah,
got it,
where's
also the
Texas?
Kansas user who's now Texas.
I
I'll
think
say Texas for me is number 7 just because it's he switched over to that team, which I don't think they're even ranked in the
yeah,
top
they're
25.
they're not even ranked in the top
Uh,
25 now, so they've got a long way to
top
come up.
25. They do. So they're my number 7 team, and then I'll go with Kansas State, who switched over to Texas A&M, which they should be in the top 25. They're my number 8 team,
Mm.
just because, like I said, the way they played in the playoffs. And then for number 9, I'd have to go Penn State because Jake Cole there, he got that first round win, but then kind of ran into Kansas. And, lost a nail biter there. For me, he's number 9 just because of like what he lost and what I hear from what he's going to be doing and stuff, everything else. He falls down just a little bit just for me, just because it's just who he is. And then to probably round it out, I mean, it's nothing against Ohio State. But again, the Ohio State user kind of left Ohio State in shambles last year. And I know you're getting
Yeah,
Michigan with Caleb, but you have Michigan State right there, number 10. But I'm actually going to go USC, I think, at number 10,
USC at
just
10.
because he played really well there at the end, got the big W, late in the season against Notre Dame, and then played Utah really tough in the conference championship, and then played a decent playoff game right there. Like I said, I'd love to go Ohio State, but Michigan State for your user and stuff. But you're an honorable mention. I'll give you number 11. I'll say Michigan State and Ohio State should be at number 11 as an honorable mention.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's my top 10 for this season.
alrighty. And I was kind of going through the teams with you, and something I noticed about Alabama, they are 92, 92, 92. So
Yeah.
that is just plain stacked.
Bama recruited really well this offseason, got some key additions. The biggest one, I think, and why I think that he'll definitely make a run this year. He'll definitely possibly more than likely make the playoffs. If he doesn't make the conference in the SEC, he'll make playoffs. But Bama got Jalen Milroe back, so that's a huge pickup for them. So he'll be just dangerous, just the fact that he got a 95 overall quarterback back. I mean, you can't. That's hard to replace, and he was able to get him back and replace him with the same guy. So
Yeah, I think
it will definitely be tough.
we have some of the same and some different here. It looks like because of course I have Tennessee number 1. Again the same reasons. I mean
He went
I
16 and
actually
0.
have Penn State. I think he's primed to have a really good run this year. I mean, the Big Ten. I mean, it's not as tough as it has been. And save 2 or 3 games. I think it's very 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 easily could be 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. Going into the off season if not undefeated. So, and then number 3, I have Florida. Um, the being in the national championship game last year, and everything. Plus, from what I know, has a good bit returning. And from my sources say that the coach has taken a class on clock management in the off season, and
Oh, we're still gonna do what we do. We're just, the national championship game. It kind of was a two-way street for me there. Like in my head and stuff, like I wanted to
hmm
milk the clock, but at the same time frame, like Tennessee hadn't shown all game long that he could stop me, he could do certain things. So I just didn't want to let off the gas on my side and give him a chance there. So I said in my head, I was like, just keep doing what we do, and just keep trying to put the points up. But we got in that little stretch right there at the start of the fourth quarter where we both turned the ball over 5 times, and then the third time of that 5 was me, and then he scored, and it was kind of hard to
Okay.
get back
Um,
into it.
all right. Somebody just said that you're being very quiet. Um,
I don't think I'm very quiet at all there.
yeah.
Or is that Nate the Great over there from Memphis? Is that who's chiming in today?
Um, you can hear him though, right?
I can't hear Nate. I can see
No,
Nate.
no. I was talking to Nate. Nate, you can hear him. Can you hear him? But he's just low. Because that was a lot of really good insight that he put in. That.
Just got louder than the game music. Oh, so
Oh,
you
okay.
need to go on your volume settings and
All
turn
right.
down
Yeah. Yep.
the game volume.
Okay. Can I do that from here? Can I do that from right there?
You'd have to get you on top otherwise.
I'll just go.
He's the one who got me to do it.
Game settings. We'll just go. Uh.
Oh, now this party just got
Uh oh.
Corey.
Yeah.
Corey showed up.
Uh.
I know we're here
All
to talk about
right.
Music Grid. I know you can't really hear me too well, but the worst user in the game took over.
And just in time for me to talk about him actually, because number 4 is actually I actually have Corey. I've no, I have Notre Dame at number 4. Um, I think he's got a lot of good stuff. He's got a lot of good stuff coming back. Um, you know, and uh, does decent on the stick. So let's see how we want. Touch my back. There we go.
Corey was not much. Corey's okay on the sticks.
Yeah. But yeah, I got Notre Dame at number 4. Then there at number 5, actually, I have Georgia. A lot for the same reasons. I mean, he's got a
91 overall team, a 92 offense, 91 defense.
right, and he's got some skills to back that up. So I think um, for that reason, I think that he should round out my top 5. Now sixth, this might be a little bit of bias, but I have the Ohio State University Buckeyes. I do not know how in the hell the game just decided to put me at number 1. I do not deserve number 1, um, but I mean I'll take it while I have it. 43 first place votes. That's just crazy that Tennessee, the reigning national champion, gets four first place votes. That's just um, so. And then after that, and actually, I wasn't paying attention to overalls before that, and I think actually I would put me at 7. I think I'd put Bama at 6. Now that I know with his 92s across the board, that is just that's he's gonna be really tough to stop.
It's a game changer. Jalen Milroe back is a game changer. That's huge.
And then from there, I think I go to USC. Um, they they had a pretty good season last year, and from what I know, they're returning a lot, and they're moving over to the Big Ten. So um, they have brand new competition that I mean I don't know if they played Penn State, but I mean I haven't played them, so really I don't know if anybody in the Big Ten's played them. So they're not a familiar foe, and that could work really in their favor. Um, and then after that, I think I have Texas. That program is uh, it's primed to be right back up in there. He's got to work his way up because the user last year left, so they got bumped down pretty hard. But um,
Yeah, he's still got a good recruiting class with Texas, even though he came in later and stuff. He's still got a really good. The computer, recruited really well for him. So I mean, so he'll still be prime. He's gonna get Archie Manning. I don't know if Quinn Ewers went pro or not though, but he's got Archie right there backing up, which is another almost 90 overall quarterback. So Texas still could be primed to be pretty decent again. So
and then to round out my top 10, I've got Ole Miss. They had they had a pretty good season last year. They made the playoff, and really it's more of.
Ole Miss did not make playoffs.
Oh, they did not. I thought they did.
No.
Okay, yeah. So really, my number 10 is more of a unknown because I mean I know quite a bit more about the top 9. So I mean,
By the way,
if it didn't sound funny.
Quinn Ewers did come back to Texas for his senior year.
Oh, ew. Okay, Quinn Ewers back at Texas. I think I might have to. I think I might have to move Texas up above USC with Quinn Ewers there. Um,
And Isaiah Bond back, and he's got nothing but like speed wide receivers. So
yeah, that's.
he's got a prime team.
Uh, well, I think that.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's. Um, like I said, with that number 10 spot, my knowledge really only goes into a top nine. And I'm learning as we go because I didn't realize I looked. I had Kansas State actually in the slot for Texas, and then I looked and I didn't see him as a user, and I was like, oh crap! Well, I guess he left. So, uh,
He slid over and became Texas, and Kansas State became Texas A&M. So they were going to get to continue that rivalry again. So that'll be good. I will say this. I'll throw this out here. I got to look at Texas Tech and Oklahoma State out there in the Big 12. Texas Tech did make the playoffs though, but they both were 9-3 to finish out the year last year. So they're both are pretty good. So that would say that would, for me would be one of those ones that yeah, I would definitely say that they could be a sleeper pick for this year too, depending on how their schedule works out also.
all right. So now on to D2.
On to D2. Okay,
Uh,
let's pull up D2 so I can see.
so I know we kind of differ on this one. You're going with you can't dethrone the seeded national champion on that one and I kind of went with the Colorado is is still pretty loaded, but they lost a lot. And so for that reason, I decided I went with Baylor number one, and they're down there. Went with Baylor. Went with Baylor number one. Just the way that he plays, and I mean, he's if he can get up on you, he's relentless, and there's just it's just a matter of getting to stay in that game. You've got to do what only a couple people
You
did.
gotta be able to score. You gotta be able to score when you play Colorado. You've got to.
No, I'm on the Baylor. I haven't got to the Colorado yet because I've got Baylor
But I'm
one.
saying if you want to be able to compete,
Oh
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to compete with Colorado, you've got to be able to score.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're not. You might slow him down for a minute, but you're not going to stop him. Um, and I have Miami at number two. Um, and that's just with the talent that he has added, plus the talent that he had. I mean, he's got a 90 overall team in D2. That's going to be pretty tough to that's going to be pretty tough to take down with anybody at the helm, let alone somebody who's pretty good at the game. Um, and then I have Colorado at three, which they're starting Colorado down at 12, which is just crazy to me. Um, I have Colorado sitting at three. Um, I mean, he has Travis Hunter back, and um, I mean, you have to be able to score 40, 50, 60. I mean, 82 points wasn't enough to beat him last year. You have to be able to score a million points, and there's not a lot of people who are going to be able to keep up with that. Um, and then Um, next off that one, I have Washington. Let's see, where are you at? You're way down there.
Washington.
Yeah. So,
Let's see.
yeah, you're way down there. But
You got
with
him slotted at one number?
I'd be slotted at fourth. Or,
Ooh.
uh,
Okay.
well, reason being, you took over a Washington team that already had a bunch of losses, and you took them.
Yeah, we were 4-4. I took over.
Yeah, yeah, and you took them to the play. You took them pretty far. Yeah, and just turned everything around pretty quickly. So I think that success is going to continue into this season, and I think
We got
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people are um, in that boat. So, um, and then after that, I have Purdue. So I'm glad he's not in here because he'd be like, oh, blah blah blah, top five. Uh, so um, he's got some good stuff coming in, and I mean he's um, if he can stay out of his own way, he plays really well. It's the losses that he's taken. It's because a lot of it. I'm not going to say that it's not because somebody has skills, but he's gotten in his own way a lot. And if he can keep from tripping himself up and giving opportunities, I think he'll go pretty far. And then after that, I have UCLA. Um, they at the end of the season were playing pretty well. Where they at? They're down there. Um,
13.
yeah. So yeah. I didn't see a whole lot of their stuff last year. So um, it's I can just go off. I go off a little bit of what I know. But I mean, from what I saw, they played some tough games and they played them tough. Um, and then I have Virginia Tech. Um, the game has them a heck of a lot higher. I just think that I just kind of, what I did is I kind of looked at these and on a head to head, I went, okay, well, this person beat that person type thing with the team that they have and what I know about them. So, just for that reason, I had them down there. And then next I have Cincinnati because I am biased and I want to be in the top 10. um, Now we have a bunch of stuff that's going on in Cincinnati. We got Brandon Sorsby back. We graduated Corey Kiner, but Evan Pryor, um, who was a top 20 back behind Corey Kiner, um, came back. Plus, there's a lot of speed there that I have coming through. So, um, and then after me, um,
And what number did you have you at again?
I had me at 8.
8. Okay.
So, and then after me, I had Mississippi State. Um, I had the pleasure of playing Mississippi State in the playoff, and we had just a dogfight that came down to a decision to go for two, um, and then
You
it was a
lost that
fail.
battle.
Yeah, I lost that battle. So I mean, it was a calculated risk. If I had to do it again, I would. I mean, I went through, I looked, I read. I read the defense, thought I had the advantage, and ended up not having the advantage. But and then to round out the top 10, I have our reigning second place, Memphis. Um, it's hard to have somebody in a national championship game and then the next year have them at 10. But he lost a lot. I mean, he's it already starting in with a lower tier team because I think they were actually supposed to be a D3 team, and then they were put in as D2 because he wanted them when we went to just the two divisions, and went really really far with them. But with as much as he lost, it's gonna be tough sledding for him this year.
Absolutely.
So what do you think this year on the D2 side?
Um, So I joined D2 later in the season, like you said, when I took over Washington, they were 4-4. I got kind of lucky there at the end and beat some pretty decent users to get myself in the playoffs. So a couple of these guys, I don't know a whole bunch about except for their runs in the playoffs. So I mean, I'm always gonna always choose the national champions as my number ones, no matter what. Just because you proved it last year. I mean, he went 16-0 with Colorado. He proved that he could beat everybody and that he couldn't be beat. So Colorado number one. I know he lost a lot, but again, like I mean, you're number one until you can't prove it otherwise. To me, now if he goes this year and goes 8-4, 9-3, then that's a different story. Than he isn't the best user. But to me, it's you're the best until it's proven otherwise. So I'm gonna go Colorado number one. For me, I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go Miami number two. I didn't get to see any of his gameplay, but I got to see his run. But when I look at his overall for this season and stuff, everything else, like he has the highest rated overall for a D2 school at 90. So like he should ultimately be the best team out there this year. Like I mean, you can almost say number one for him just because of that. But again, like I said, he didn't win the Natty. He made it to the semifinals or not even the semifinals. So I have to put him at two. Um, and then after Miami, I'm gonna go Virginia Tech. Just because I mean him and Memphis played such a great game in that semifinal for Memphis, even though Memphis got the win over him and got in the national championship. I just think Virginia Tech he brings back some key guys it seems because his overall is pretty decent and I think he'll be another really good user. And then for me, number four, I'm a little mixed and stuff. I'm gonna go Baylor at number four. Um, Again, he was undefeated until he got in the playoffs, and then just he caught Memphis when they got red hot, and I think he could be another really good team again this year. It's just he just caught Memphis at the wrong time, and ultimately lost in that first round, that first game for him. Um, Number five for me. Um, Honestly, if I had to go number five, I mean, I'll probably go. I'll go Mississippi State. He made a good run. He did beat you. Even though it was
Mhm.
on that failed 2 point conversion. But I'll go Mississippi State five. He seemed pretty like a decent user. He's got a good team coming back again. I know he's got some youth there, so I think it'll be good for him again this year. Then six, I'm gonna go Corey with Purdue at six. I know again, like you said earlier, Corey wouldn't be like, but again, it's six and stuff. Everything else, Corey, he talked all that smack with Purdue, and then he lost in the first round, I believe, but he got to play on his bye week. Um, for me, it's everything else. Like you exited a little early, and after being a good team all year long, and so I'll put Corey at six. At number seven, I've got to go UCLA after that. Again, it's another good user, made the playoffs, made a good run. Um, Again, I played him earlier, and that was one of the more key wins I got to help push Washington in. Um, Number eight for me would be is obviously I'm going to go Cincy here with you. You took a Cincy team and went 9-3 with them last year, made the
Yep.
playoffs. Yep. So 9-3 with Cincy, made the playoffs, and played a really good game against Mississippi State. I actually think it was probably, other than that 100 some to 82 score, I actually think it was one of the more closer games in the playoffs. That was kind of you went for the two and didn't get it. So um, but I still say that you will be a better team again this year. Even though you sound like you lost a little bit, but I still think you'll still be a good team. Um, I'm gonna go number nine, Louisville. I'm gonna put Drew back in there. Drew got some key players in the transfer portal. I believe he made the playoffs also. So, but I just think that with him, it's for me, it's just I haven't seen enough of him. The couple games I've seen Drew play, he seems like he plays pretty decent, but it's just more of like I think there's some other better guys on the sticks in this league that can really that can play, and if he can get the Isaiah Bond, who I know was a big pickup for him this offseason, if he can get him going and can hit some deep balls, I think Louisville might be a tough and a pretty good team. And then for me at number 10, that's tough because I want to put myself in there, but I just don't feel like we're a top 10 team right now. But then I look at Memphis, and I also don't think that he's necessarily a top 10 team, also because of what he did lose. Also, um, this one's tough. Um,
You could always put it in as a tie.
Well, no, I'm gonna give Memphis the 10 because he did beat me in the playoffs. It was a good game. I did lose by three to him and stuff though, but I mean I'll give it to Nate. Nate got the W on me, so that I'll give him the 10 slot and I'll take 11 there for myself. But Not even gonna put me in there, but no, Nate went on a really good run. You know, he won 3 straight games against 3 extremely good users, and then ultimately just caught an extremely red hot Colorado team that just, they scored at will. And but I think he could be higher if he brought back more people. But unfortunately, with him losing what he did, I got to put him at 10. I still think he'll do decently this year. It's going to be a little bit more of a tougher grind from him. And like I said, honorable mention would be myself, only just because I took over that team late and we lost. We lost. We're going to be struggling at quarterback this year, but we'll figure it out. I got a young team in Washington, and hopefully, depending on the schedule and how it looks and stuff, I got to play Colorado. I got to play UCLA. I also got to play
Oof.
Boise State. I got to play Boise there, who's another good team, but he doesn't have Jincy, so I don't have to worry about that running back. But again, I mean, Boise State's Bama on D1, so it's a good team. So, I'll have some tough games, but yeah, that's my top 10 for the D2.
Yeah, the craziest thing about Memphis to me is it went so went to the national championship game, had a winning running back, who when it went to the off season, his Heisman winning running back went undrafted. That's just EA logic right there, because there's no way any Heisman would ever go undrafted.
I mean,
So,
but also I don't think you're going to see a Heisman put up the numbers that he put up for Memphis, like to win the Heisman. But I get what you're saying there. But no, it's definitely D2 is going to be an interesting year, just because everybody lost so much off of their teams, and to me and stuff, the transfer portal wasn't too great for me. I know some other guys talked about they struggled with the transfer portal and trying to pull some guys, so for me and stuff, everything else, like I just know it's going to be a tougher grind because it's harder in these smaller leagues to get the better recruits. But again, when you look at Miami and he's a D2 school and he's got a 90 overall, it's you're going to have to figure out some ways on how to beat him, and you just got to be good on the sticks. And that's why I said, yeah, I give it to Colorado. Mostly he's the number one just because he proved last year by being 16-0 that he's good on the sticks and he can dominate. And like I said, even though he doesn't have Shadur back, I still think that he'll be pretty decent stuff. He may not be as good as he was last year, but I think he'll be pretty decent this year.
all right. So, what's your craziest prediction for the year?
Ooh, my craziest prediction. Um, you might think this is going to be kind of a little crazy, but I'm going to choose you in Cincinnati to win the national championship on the power game
Ooh,
with
all
you
right.
running the I formation. That to me and stuff of you with that formation and all that offense and stuff, because everybody on here wants to run the spread and wants to throw it and spread you out. And if you can come up through there with the I formation with Cincy, I'd have to say you would probably be the biggest surprise this year.
All right. I'll take that. I'm gonna go with. Let's see. We're gonna have. Are we gonna have less users in D2 as well, or are we more? I think we're more set in D2, so we'll have. We won't, because I know D1 our user games are kind of sparse. Um,
Well, so if they can't fix the scheduling in D2, and then just like they can in D1, then it'll probably be about the same. But it'll be kind of curious to see. Like I just know personally, just because they're in the Pac-12, so like I'll get Boise State, UCLA, and Colorado. So if I play those 3 users and stuff, like I know that'll be 3 good games for myself.
okay. I think I'll go with mine. I think I'll go with Memphis and Colorado meet in the national championship again, and then this time it's Memphis.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see if either of those. I'm kind of hoping your prediction comes true more than mine, because but
Well, we'll see. You are the Cincy user. Now let's go. Just you don't have to click off this screen, but we didn't do one of those for D1. What's a pick for you for D1 that might be kind of crazy?
oh, I don't know how crazy this is because of how stacked a lot of the stuff is, but um, I'm gonna say we have two undefeated two undefeated players make the playoff, and both lose before the national championship.
Okay. Mine might be a little I know Snail swears up and down that he's not going to be a tryhard this year, but I know Tennessee. I know that he will not be able to not be a tryhard. So I actually say I think Tennessee catches a loss at least once or twice, maybe in the regular season. I think he might be 11-1, 10-2, but he makes playoffs or he wins the conference. And then I think Tennessee. I'll throw it again. I think Tennessee might be able to run it and win it again, just because I know the man, and um, he doesn't like to take time off. So I would say my Weir's prediction is Tennessee going back to back.
All right. So I feel like there's a bunch of users that might have something to say about that. So we'll have to.
There's going to be
This
plenty of them.
this is going to be a really exciting year because I mean with last year with people dropping out, what you go you ask, hey, when can you play? And that person dropped out that week and you didn't know. Where this year, I mean, we've been pretty steady with users to where, I mean, we're not really having the dropouts anymore so you see a user game coming up, you can look forward to it because, it's somebody who's been around for a while. So I think
Well,
it's going to be.
hopefully, you got rid of all those people who didn't want to hang around. Like you've got the people
Hmm.
now who want to be here and they want to play and they know the league dynamic and they know what they're going to be getting and what to expect now from the league. So I think the ones that are here now are here for the long haul, and we won't have any of those issues. It's we've got to recruit for this league and get these leagues built back up and get 32 strong users in D1, D2, and then 32 strong users for D3 and 32 for D4, and build this thing back to where Fireball or Matt or whatever you want to call his name, what they envisioned when they first rolled this out months ago. When they came up with a cool idea of getting 100 to something people, and then drawing teams, and then you being in these divisions, and working it to where it was going to run like this, and you can move teams around, and you can do this, that, and the other, and I think this league's headed in the right direction, and we're making changes now, and we're keeping around good people because it's not like, yeah, there's people like myself and you that we have D1 and D2 league teams, and and if we got enough people and I had to give up my D2 team, I would happily give up Washington, so that way we'd have more users in the league, and I'm probably guessing you probably would do the same, but you would
Oh
probably
yeah.
give up what Ohio State. What about you? Who would you root for Ohio State?
Now that is a good question. I've been a
Yeah.
lifelong Ohio State fan, but last few years, it's just been it's gotten to the point where most games you don't even tune
The
into.
pregame show is called the Lady Bearcats.
Yeah,
Oh, the
there's
Lady
that.
Bearcats. So I mean, it sounds like you gotta give up Ohio State. You gotta keep the Lady Bearcats.
uh,
But that's the thing is like I'd be willing to give up. I mean, Florida's my home team. That's my school. That's who I love. So it would be hard for me to give them up. But no, I would. I'd give up Washington for a user if I know we could fill these leagues out. Would I want to? No, but if I had to, I would.
right.
But
Yeah.
again, we're hopefully going to be running out D3. And I'd love to get James Madison again, that was slated for a D3, spot, and kind of get my original team to start with. But again, if it meant like we've got 32 new users that are wanting to join and they need that team, I'll keep my two I've got and we'll keep it rolling. But we just got to keep building this thing. This thing's going to get better and better, and the more and more we put into it, and we need all the people we can get to come on out here and help recruit it. And there's Snail in the
Hey,
chat now calling me.
beans.
Yeah, there's old Snail. There's the Tennessee user. I wish we could have got him in here so he could hear where I placed him at in the top 10 rankings because he probably would not have been very excited. He didn't even make my top 25. I put
Yeah,
computers and FCS schools in front of him. So, but
he said
yeah,
Bishop Sycamore was ahead of Snail. That's what he said earlier.
I put an M4 builder team in front of the Tennessee Volunteers, guys. That's how bad I think they are if they're nuts again this year. Crazy part. Ready? Crazy part. Tennessee does not play Florida this year in the regular season. Is that not crazy?
Did they don't play? You guys don't play in the regular season?
We do not play in the
Huh.
regular season this year, so there will be no Gators versus Volunteers and no um, Gator versus
Yeah,
no,
no.
no, talking. I swear, if all of y'all would have been in that chat while we're playing that national championship game, you guys would probably be like, y'all must really hate each other. But no, we're good friends in real life. And 10 minutes after the game, I didn't talk to him for a bit. Then we became friends again. But there was a lot of profanity thrown at each other. There was a lot of hatred back and forth between each other. But I did tell him we'll always play a good game against each other because we both know how each other plays. We play each other in this league. We'll play each other in D2. We also play each other in Madden leagues. So me and Snail will always be a good matchup just because we both know how each other plays because we play each other so many times.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it'll should be a good season, good year. Year number two, everybody.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm working hard on getting things squared away so that we can get D3 firing. Um, what I'd like to do with D3 is have it where it actually trails behind D1 and D2, um, so that we have games going while we're in the off
And that's kind
season.
of how, and that's kind of how it probably should be. Like D1 should obviously start this evening and get their games rolling, and then Thursday or something D2 starts, and then Saturday D3. Like always give them a couple days behind each other, so that way when playoffs rolls around, Matt can cover, Fireball can cover all the playoffs, and we can
Right.
cover all the leagues, and we can make sure everything's good to go.
So, well, I appreciate you coming on, and sorry to everybody that he's low. I'll have to figure out why that was so that I can fix that for the next time. Um, but at least we got squared away because in from what I hear, I hear you are actually very loud to me, but when they said it was low, I was like, well, I can't mess with any of that stuff. So, um,
No, it was a pleasure coming on. Looking forward to doing more and more this year as we go and stuff and anything else. If you want to, I'd love to come back. But before I bounce out of here, everybody, all I want to say is go Gators and go Huskies.
Alrighty, well, thank everybody for checking us out, and we will be. I'm hoping to have a show going on Saturday, and then there's also going to be a D3 call on Saturday. So, thank you everyone for tuning in.